Stop for a moment. Look at the people around you. Your friends. Your classmates. Your co-workers. The people you talk to every day. Now ask yourself one uncomfortable question. Are these people helping you become the person you want to become, or are they quietly keeping you exactly where you are? Because your future is not built by motivation alone. It is built by decisions. And one of the most important decisions you will ever make is deciding who gets access to your time, your attention, and your mind. You can have talent and still remain invisible. You can work hard and still remain stuck. You can have enormous potential and still live an ordinary life if you constantly surround yourself with people who have no desire to grow. This is not about becoming arrogant. It is not about abandoning everyone. It is about understanding something most people discover far too late. Your environment is programming you. The conversations you hear become thoughts. Your thoughts become beliefs. Your beliefs become actions. And your actions eventually become your life. So tonight, we're going to talk about the power of strategic networking. Not fake friendships. Not begging powerful people for attention. Not pretending to be someone you're not. We're talking about learning how to recognize valuable people, build genuine relationships, enter better environments, and become the kind of person that powerful people actually want around them. Because sometimes, the biggest change in your life doesn't begin with a new job. It begins with a new circle. Here's one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. They see someone successful and immediately think, I need that person's attention. They send messages. They ask for favors. They want connections before they have developed value. But powerful people are usually surrounded by people asking for something. So if you approach them with another request, you become part of the noise. A smarter approach is simple. Become useful. Don't walk into a room thinking, what can I get? Walk in thinking, what can I contribute? Maybe you have knowledge. Maybe you can solve a problem. Maybe you can introduce two people who should know each other. Maybe you have a skill they need. Maybe you bring energy, reliability, creativity, or a perspective they haven't considered. Value creates gravity. When you become genuinely useful, you don't have to constantly chase people. People begin remembering you. And remember this. You don't network your way into a better life by collecting famous names. You build a better life by becoming the kind of person worth knowing. The goal isn't to know everyone. The goal is to become valuable enough that the right people remember you. Want to become instantly better at networking? Talk less. Listen more. Most people enter conversations waiting for their turn to speak. They are preparing their next sentence while the other person is talking. Don't do that. Become genuinely curious. Ask questions. What are you working on? How did you get started? What was the biggest lesson you learned? What would you do differently if you started again? These questions can open doors that self-promotion never could. Because people remember how you made them feel. A person who feels genuinely heard will often remember you long after forgetting what you said. Listening is not weakness. Listening gives you information. When you listen carefully, you learn how people think. You discover what they value. You understand their goals. You notice their strengths. You learn their experiences. And sometimes, you discover opportunities you would have missed if you were busy talking about yourself. The intelligent person doesn't enter every conversation trying to prove intelligence. They enter trying to understand. Curiosity makes you memorable. And genuine curiosity can take you much further than forced confidence ever will. You don't need hundreds of friends. You need the right kinds of people. First, find mentors, people who are further ahead and can shorten your learning curve. Second, find peers, people growing alongside you. They understand the struggle because they're living it too. Third, find challengers, people who don't automatically agree with you. They expose weaknesses in your thinking. Fourth, find connectors, people who naturally know others and enjoy bringing valuable people together. And fifth, become a builder yourself. Someone who creates. Someone who solves. Someone who contributes. This last category matters most. Because if you only search for people who can help you, your network becomes transactional. But when you become someone who helps others, your network becomes relational. You don't need every category immediately. Start with one person. One conversation. One genuine relationship. One useful contribution. Over time, those small interactions compound. A single introduction can change your career. A single mentor can change your thinking. A single friend can change your standards. And a single conversation can sometimes change the direction of your entire life. You never need a massive circle. You need a meaningful one. People often say they want successful friends. But there's a problem. Successful people usually have standards. They value time. They value reliability. They value competence. They value honesty. They value emotional control. They notice whether you keep your word. So if you want access to better environments, don't simply search for better people. Become better yourself. Read. Learn. Build skills. Improve your communication. Take care of your appearance. Control your emotions. Keep your promises. Show up on time. Finish what you start. These things sound ordinary. But ordinary disciplines create extraordinary reputations. Imagine two people meeting you. One sees someone who constantly complains, arrives late, exaggerates, and never finishes anything. The other sees someone calm, prepared, curious, and dependable. Who would you trust with an opportunity? Exactly. Your reputation enters the room before you do. So build a reputation that speaks for you. When people hear your name, you want them to think, that person can be trusted. That sentence is worth more than thousands of followers. Sometimes your problem isn't that you're not talented. You're simply standing in the wrong room. Imagine having an incredible product but showing it to people who don't need it. Nothing happens. Your ability didn't disappear. The environment was wrong. The same principle applies to people. If you want to meet ambitious people, go where ambitious people naturally gather. Professional events. Communities. Workshops. Universities. Industry groups. Online communities. Creative spaces. Business events. Educational platforms. You don't have to become rich before entering those rooms. You need curiosity. Walk into the room prepared to learn. Don't immediately ask for favors. Observe. Listen. Introduce yourself. Ask intelligent questions. Follow up afterward. And most importantly, don't expect instant results. Networking is not a vending machine. You don't insert one conversation and receive an opportunity. Relationships develop through repeated positive interactions. The room matters. But what you bring into the room matters even more. So stop asking only, where are successful people? Start asking, what kind of person would successful people want in their room? Then become that person. There is something powerful about being comfortable without being accepted by everyone. Desperation changes your behavior. You talk too much. You agree too quickly. You exaggerate yourself. You become afraid to say no. You chase people who don't respect you. And slowly, you lose yourself trying to impress others. Real confidence is different. Real confidence says, I respect you, but I don't need your approval to know my value. That doesn't mean being rude. It means having an internal foundation. You can listen without becoming submissive. You can disagree without becoming aggressive. You can admire someone without worshipping them. You can learn from someone without losing your identity. This balance is extremely powerful. Because people can sense desperation. And they can also sense self-respect. When you don't need everyone to like you, you become calmer. When you're calmer, you listen better. When you listen better, you understand people better. And when you understand people better, you build better relationships. Don't chase approval. Build character. The right people will respect it. You don't need a complicated introduction. In fact, the best introductions are often simple. Say your name. Say what you're interested in. Say what you're working on. Then ask something about the other person. For example, "Hey, I'm Alex. I'm interested in digital marketing, and I'm currently learning how to build online businesses. What are you working on?" Simple. Natural. No speech. No bragging. No unnecessary details. The purpose of an introduction isn't to prove that you're impressive. It's to open a conversation. And once the conversation begins, don't immediately turn it into a sales pitch. Listen. Find common ground. Maybe you share an interest. Maybe you're working in the same field. Maybe you can help each other. That's where the real connection begins. Remember, a good introduction opens the door. A good conversation keeps it open. And a valuable relationship can eventually change your life. Don't try to impress everyone you meet. Try to make every conversation meaningful. Your phone can contain 1,000 contacts and still be socially empty. Numbers aren't relationships. Followers aren't relationships. Connections aren't necessarily relationships. Trust is the foundation. And trust is built through consistency. If you say you'll send something, send it. If you promise to introduce someone, make the introduction. If someone shares something privately, respect their privacy. If you make a mistake, admit it. If you don't know something, say you don't know. People remember reliability. And reliability is rare. Think about the people you trust most. They're probably not perfect. They're predictable. You know what you'll get from them. That's valuable. Become that person. When people know that your word means something, your social value increases naturally. You don't have to manipulate anyone. You don't have to pretend. You simply become dependable. And dependable people are invited back. Again and again. Build fewer relationships, but build them deeper. Because trust will always be more valuable than a contact list. Most networking opportunities die after the first conversation. Why? Because people never follow up. You meet someone. You talk for 10 minutes. You exchange contact information. Then nothing. A week later, neither person remembers the conversation clearly. A simple follow-up can change everything. Send a short message. Great meeting you yesterday. I enjoyed our conversation about entrepreneurship. I checked out the resource you mentioned, really useful. That's enough. You aren't begging. You're continuing the relationship. Later, you might share something useful. Maybe an article. A tool. An introduction. A relevant idea. This creates a pattern. Conversation. Value. Follow-up. Consistency. Trust. That's how relationships grow. Don't send desperate messages every day. Don't ask for favors immediately. Don't force the relationship. Let it breathe. Strong relationships are built slowly. Think long-term. Because the person you meet today may not change your life tomorrow. But 5 years from now, that same person could become a partner, mentor, friend, employer, client, or collaborator. You never know. So treat people well. Your questions reveal your level of thinking. Average conversations often stay on the surface. How's business? Where are you from? What do you do? Nothing wrong with these questions. But deeper questions create deeper connections. Ask. What problem are you trying to solve right now? What skill are you trying to improve? What changed your perspective the most? What's something you wish you had learned 5 years earlier? What opportunity do you think people are overlooking? These questions make people think. And when people think deeply with you, they often remember you. But don't interrogate people. Let the conversation flow naturally. Listen to the answer. Then build your next question from what they said. That's real conversation. The goal isn't to sound intelligent. The goal is to understand. And here's the secret. When you ask someone a meaningful question, you aren't only learning about them. You're learning how they see the world. That knowledge can be priceless. Become the person who leaves conversations knowing more than when they entered. Not everyone deserves equal access to you. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn. Some people constantly need attention. Some create drama. Some only call when they need something. Some make every conversation negative. If you give unlimited access to these people, your energy disappears. Protecting your time doesn't mean becoming cold. It means becoming intentional. You can care about people without allowing them to control your schedule. You can say, "I can't today. I'm working on something. Let's talk another time." You don't need a long explanation. Your time is a limited resource. Every hour you spend is an hour you can never recover. So ask yourself, who gets my best hours? What conversations occupy my mind? What people influence my decisions? What environments consume my energy? Because time isn't just money. Time is your life. Spend it accordingly. Your attention is one of your most valuable assets. Don't give it away automatically. When you meet someone more successful than you, notice your reaction. Do you feel threatened? Do you immediately look for their weaknesses? Do you tell yourself they were simply lucky? Or do you become curious? The mature response is curiosity. Instead of thinking, "Why do they have what I don't?" ask, "What can I learn from what they did?" Their success can become evidence. Evidence that something is possible. Maybe they developed a skill. Maybe they built relationships. Maybe they took risks. Maybe they stayed consistent for years while everyone else quit. Study the process. Don't worship the person. Don't hate the person. Learn from the person. Envy consumes energy. Curiosity converts energy into growth. And when you genuinely celebrate other people's success, something interesting happens. You stop seeing successful people as enemies. You start seeing them as teachers. That shift can completely transform your mindset. Someone else's success does not reduce your potential. Use it as information. Then go build your own path. There is a hidden advantage in admitting, "I don't know." Weak people pretend to know everything. Strong people are comfortable learning. If someone knows more than you, don't feel embarrassed. Ask questions. If someone has achieved something you haven't, study them. If someone has a skill you lack, learn from them. The moment you stop pretending to know everything, your learning speed increases. You become a student again. And students can improve. Your goal should not be to enter every room as the smartest person. Your goal should be to leave the room smarter than when you entered. That's a completely different mindset. Imagine doing that for 10 years. Every conversation teaches you something. Every mentor adds perspective. Every mistake adds wisdom. Every challenge sharpens your thinking. Eventually, you become the person others come to learn from. That's how growth compounds. Stay humble enough to learn. And disciplined enough to apply what you learn. Never let ego become the wall between you and your next level. A good friend doesn't always make you feel comfortable. Sometimes they tell you the truth. They say, "You're making excuses. You're wasting your potential. That idea isn't good enough yet. You need to work harder." You may not enjoy hearing it. But sometimes discomfort is exactly what you need. Surround yourself with people who respect you enough to challenge you. Not people who insult you. Not people who constantly criticize you, but people who want you to improve. A healthy relationship can contain disagreement. In fact, disagreement can strengthen your thinking. If everyone around you agrees with everything you say, you may eventually become intellectually weak. You stop questioning yourself. You stop improving. You start believing your own assumptions. So don't only search for people who support your ego. Find people who strengthen your mind. The right person won't simply tell you that you're great. They'll help you become better. And that's far more valuable. Choose friends who challenge your comfort, not your dignity. Point: one of the most powerful roles in any network is the connector. The person who knows. These two people should meet. Imagine you know someone who needs a designer. And you know a talented designer looking for clients. You introduce them. You didn't ask for money. You simply created value. Now both people remember you positively. Do this consistently and something interesting happens. Your reputation changes. People begin thinking, that person knows people. That person helps. That person creates opportunities. You become a bridge. And bridges are valuable. But do this carefully. Never introduce people without considering whether the connection actually makes sense. Don't spam contacts. Don't expose private information. Don't force relationships. Make thoughtful introductions. The best networkers aren't people who know everyone. They're people who connect the right people. And you can start today. Think of two people you know. Could they genuinely help each other? If yes, introduce them. One simple introduction could create value for everyone involved. Networking isn't limited to physical rooms anymore. Your digital presence is part of your reputation. People may search your name before meeting you. What do they see? Complaints? Arguments? Empty posts? Or evidence that you're learning, building, creating, and contributing? You don't need to become an influencer. You simply need to become visible for something valuable. Share what you're learning. Document your work. Give useful insights. Celebrate other people's achievements. Participate intelligently in communities. Comment with substance. Avoid unnecessary online arguments. Remember, the internet is a giant room. And everything you post can become part of your reputation. You don't need millions of followers. You need the right people to recognize what you can do. A small audience of serious people can be more valuable than a huge audience that doesn't care about your work. Build quietly. Build consistently. Let your digital footprint become evidence of your character. Your online reputation is still a reputation. Treat it that way. There is a difference between confidence and pretending. Some people spend enormous energy trying to look successful. Expensive clothes. Fake lifestyles. Exaggerated stories. Constant name-dropping. But eventually, reality catches up. You don't need to look rich. You need to become valuable. You don't need to pretend you're powerful. You need competence. You don't need to know famous people. You need meaningful relationships. Real status is often quiet. A person who can solve difficult problems doesn't need to announce it every 5 minutes. A person with genuine confidence doesn't need constant validation. So don't build an image that your character can't support. Build the character first. Let the image follow. Because when appearance and reality finally match, you become difficult to ignore. Your goal isn't to look like someone successful. Your goal is to become someone successful. And those are completely different missions. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every achievement needs to be announced. Not every plan needs an audience. Sometimes silence protects your focus. When you're building something important, excessive talking can create a false feeling of progress. You tell everyone your plan. They congratulate you. You feel accomplished. But you haven't actually done anything. Instead, work. Let results speak. If someone asks what you're doing, you can tell them. But don't turn every ambition into a public performance. Quiet discipline is powerful. Wake up. Work. Learn. Improve. Repeat. Months later, people may suddenly notice the difference. They may ask, "When did you become so good at this?" The answer is simple. You were working when nobody was watching. That's the mindset. Don't announce the transformation. Become the transformation. Let your results introduce you. There are environments where you constantly feel like you're too ambitious. You mention a goal. People laugh. You talk about learning. They mock you. You want to build something. They tell you it's impossible. Be careful. Sometimes criticism is useful. But constant discouragement can become psychological gravity. It pulls you back toward the identity everyone already knows. You don't have to fight these people. You don't have to prove them wrong. Just grow. Quietly. Find environments where ambition isn't strange. Where learning is normal. Where discipline is respected. Where people talk about possibilities. You may discover that your personality wasn't the problem. Your environment was. A plant can be healthy and still struggle in the wrong soil. Sometimes growth requires changing the soil. Change your environment. Change your inputs. Change your conversations. And gradually, you may discover a version of yourself that was always there. You don't have to announce your escape. Just build a better life. Healthy networking is not, "You help me, then I help you." It's deeper than that. It's about becoming someone who naturally contributes. If someone helps you, appreciate it. If you can help them later, do it. Don't keep a spreadsheet of favors. Don't turn kindness into debt. Build relationships where both people genuinely want each other to succeed. Maybe a mentor gives you advice. You apply it. Later, you help someone else with what you learned. That's how knowledge travels. Someone helped you. You become stronger. Then you help another person. The network grows. This is one of the most beautiful things about meaningful relationships. Success doesn't have to be a competition where one person wins and everyone else loses. Sometimes success becomes more powerful when people create opportunities for one another. Be a giver. But don't become a doormat. Give intelligently. Give genuinely. And keep your boundaries. The strongest networks are built on mutual respect, not manipulation. Think about your reputation like an investment account. Every interaction makes a deposit or a withdrawal. Keeping your word? Deposit. Helping someone? Deposit. Being reliable? Deposit. Lying? Withdrawal. Breaking promises? Withdrawal. Constant drama? Withdrawal. At first, nobody notices. But over years, the balance becomes enormous. One day, an opportunity appears. Someone asks, "Do you know anyone who can handle this?" Your name comes up. Why? Because you've spent years building trust. That's the power of reputation. You can't create it overnight. And you can't fake it forever. So start building today. Be the person who arrives prepared. Be the person who responds. Be the person who gives credit. Be the person who doesn't betray confidence. Be the person who does what they said they would do. Your future opportunities may already be connected to your current reputation. You just can't see the connection yet. Protect your name. Because your reputation can open doors before you ever knock. Sometimes you outgrow people. Sometimes relationships end. That's normal. But you don't need to create enemies every time you move forward. You can leave respectfully. You can disagree without insulting. You can separate without revenge. Why? Because life is long. People change. Circumstances change. The person you don't need today may become important years later. This doesn't mean tolerating abuse or disrespect. It means understanding the difference between boundaries and unnecessary hostility. If you need to walk away with dignity. Don't announce your departure. Don't create a public war. Don't spend months trying to prove you're right. Protect your peace. Move forward. And remember, not every door needs to be slammed. Some doors simply need to close quietly. Your energy is better spent building your future than fighting your past. Leave with dignity. Grow without revenge. And keep moving. If you remember only one thing from this entire video, remember this. Your network grows when your value grows. Learn a skill. Solve a problem. Create something. Develop expertise. Improve communication. Become dependable. Become emotionally intelligent. Become disciplined. The world has enough people asking, "What can you do for me?" Become one of the rare people asking, "What problem can I solve?" That question changes everything. If you can solve problems, people notice. If you can communicate solutions, people remember. If you can consistently create value, opportunities begin appearing. You don't need to chase every opportunity. Build enough value and some opportunities will eventually chase you. That's not magic. It's the natural result of competence meeting relationships. So stop obsessing over who you need to meet. Start obsessing over who you need to become. Become useful. Become reliable. Become skilled. Become someone whose presence makes a situation better. That is real social power. Before you choose a relationship, ask yourself, if I spend the next 10 years around this person, where could I end up? Not tomorrow. Not next month. 10 years. Because relationships compound. If you spend 10 years around disciplined people, you may become disciplined. If you spend 10 years around learners, you may become a learner. If you spend 10 years around creators, you may become a creator. But if you spend 10 years surrounded by negativity, excuses, addiction to entertainment, and constant drama, don't be surprised when your life reflects those patterns. Your future isn't created only by dramatic decisions. It's created by repeated exposure. So look at your circle. Not with judgment. With awareness. Ask, what habits are these relationships teaching me? What beliefs are they reinforcing? What kind of person am I becoming? The answers may be uncomfortable. But discomfort can be useful. Because awareness gives you the power to change. Choose people based not only on who they are today, but on who you may become by walking beside them. One of the biggest mistakes ambitious people make is waiting for permission. They think, when I become successful, I'll meet successful people. Wrong. Start now. You don't need to be wealthy to be curious. You don't need millions of followers to contribute. You don't need a perfect resume to learn. You don't need to know everything before entering a community. Start where you are. Ask questions. Volunteer. Create. Participate. Help. Learn. If you see someone doing impressive work, tell them specifically what you appreciated. If you discover useful information, share it. If you can introduce two people, introduce them. Small actions create momentum. Don't wait until you become someone important. Start behaving like someone who takes growth seriously. Your current position is not your final identity. It's simply your starting point. The door may not open automatically. Sometimes you have to knock. And sometimes you have to build your own door. So, before you leave, remember this. Your life is being shaped by what you repeatedly consume, what you repeatedly think, and who you repeatedly spend time with. Choose carefully. Find people who make you think. Find people who challenge you. Find people who teach you. Find people who inspire you. And most importantly, become one of those people yourself. Don't chase powerful people. Build powerful character. Don't collect contacts. Build trust. Don't seek approval. Build self-respect. Don't pretend to have status. Build real competence. Don't surround yourself with people who make your dreams smaller. Find environments where growth is normal. And don't forget the most important principle of all. Your network should not simply help you get somewhere. It should help you become someone. 5 years from now, you may look back at this exact moment and realize that your life changed when you changed your environment. Maybe it begins with one conversation, one book, one mentor, one new community, one decision to stop wasting your time, one decision to become more valuable. You don't need to know exactly where the road leads. You just need to take the next intelligent step. Choose your people. Choose your environment. Choose your standards. Choose your future. Because eventually, the people around you won't just know your story. They will be part of the reason you have won.